Breaking news, the Milwaukee Bucks are officially eliminated from the playoffs and are now in no man's land with no picks in the draft to their name in the near future because they've bet it all on Giannis and Damian Lillard working. But Damian Lillard seems like he's towards the end of his career. He's had blood clots, Achilles tear now. So he's not going to definitely be the same player that he used to be. And now you've got Giannis with a bunch of scrubs and Gary Trent Jr., man. And I'm telling you this right now. You've got the likes of Bobby Portis, who could be on the way out. Kyle Kuzma, who you better hope is on the way out because he somehow replaced that Tony Snell, 5x0 stat line all over the board. He had 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Tony Snell, you can go to rest now because we've got Kyle Kuzma in the playoffs. But, Brook Lopez, his time has come. He's getting old now. But, Bobby Portis probably will be on the way out. Like I said, Dame Dollar. This Bucks team is just absolutely pathetic, aside from Giannis. Because we know in this playoff series, Giannis played his heart out. Nobody will ever question Giannis's ability, man. And if you are questioning his ability, I'm sorry to tell you, but you probably are racist against Greeks, man, because he is absolutely phenomenal. Any team would want to have him. And the Bucks, if they really want to be able to recover from this, it's time to let go of Giannis. Get as big as a haul you can get. Plenty of teams that are contending right now would love to give you a lot of talent for Giannis. And to be honest, this offseason is going to be the best opportunity, and every single party will win because the team that trades for Giannis will get Giannis. That is a huge win. Giannis will be in a winning situation where he could finally compete with somebody that's going to be able to put at least a rebound up there on the board, unlike Kyle Kuzma on the team. That's absolutely terrible. That meme with the car in a horrible neighborhood in that mobile home. It's a Ferrari in a mobile home. That's Giannis on the Bucks, man. You've got a absolute Ferrari for no reason because the home sucks, the foundation sucks. It's literally just that supercar. It's a luxury, all right, and they're treating it like a necessity. But and then the Bucks would be able to find a way to build, past the Giannis era because obviously Giannis brought you a championship, but now you failed as an organization to keep it up, keep the team, current in the current era, being able to contend. You'll make the playoffs, you'll be first round exit. But do you really want that? Do you want to be no man's land? Do you want to be the Clippers? No. You want to compete. So what you have to do is trade Giannis, develop new talents that you acquire from Giannis. Thank you, Giannis, for the championship. Thank you for everything you've done. He's been nothing but professional. No outside noise. No Jimmy Butler mode. He came out every single game, not worrying about the future, not worrying about not getting hurt. He gave Milwaukee his heart, and he genuinely needs a statue right there. He's the best thing that's happened to that organization since Kareem, man. So, Giannis, I tip my cap to you. Nothing but respect there, but it's time to go, man. But look, this is what I'm talking about, no man's land. You won the championship, then you lost in the conference, the Eastern Conference semi, and then first round, man. When you lost to the Heat, I thought that's when you started to blow it up, and then you got rid of Drew Holiday, and maybe you should have got rid of Chris Middleton instead. It's just, you made some bad, questionable moves. But now it's time to let go of them. And to be honest, teams like the Thunder could offer you a decent, package. The Houston Rockets is another young team that could get you a decent package. Orlando, possibly, depending how much they want to give up, because they definitely have some pieces. The Pistons, even, you could be looking at possibly trying to trade Giannis for the first overall pick, whoever gets it. You never know. Maybe Washington gets the first overall pick and they rather have Giannis than Cooper Flag. Because personally, if I'm Milwaukee and I could somehow trade Giannis straight up for Cooper Flag, call me crazy, but I'm doing it. You might be saying, oh, he's not proven, but to be honest, Cooper Flag has a higher ceiling than what? Jalen Green from the Rockets, whatever you get there, or Chet Holmgren. Whatever you end up being able to get from for Giannis. Genuinely, I don't know how much better it could be than that first overall pick. And honestly, that first overall pick for Cooper Flag for a former MVP, former Finals MVP, to me, that's a great deal. And to be honest, if I'm the Bucks, that's my ideal trade. If I'm running the organization, whoever gets that first overall pick, I'm offering Giannis if I'm Milwaukee. But there's teams out there that are going to be willing to trade for Giannis big time. You could be getting a sum of Jalen Green maybe with Thompson from the Rockets. You could be, looking at, like I said, Chet Holmgren, maybe J-Dub as well coming through. The Pistons, they could give you up some young pieces there. But yeah, I think Giannis definitely needs to be traded. It's time, I'd rather trade a player a year too early than a year too late. And I'm not saying Giannis is going to regress anytime soon, but definitely the championship window has shut. You don't really have much trade assets. A lot of the big pieces that were your foundation are, either injured or old. So better get rid of Giannis, man. So everybody is happy here.